Hi, it's Whit Churchill here with the Barefoot Consultants. And as I'm getting started here, I have to tune out a couple of things. Just one moment. Got a technical glitch. Holy smokes. All right, I think that may have it. Alrighty. Let's see, we're just getting started. Alrighty, there we go. Sorry for that. Have a little configuration problem as we're getting started here. These lives are always a little interesting for their activity uh, levels and also for their technological issues. So, we wanted to talk today about the three misconceptions about getting started as a baby boomer freelancer. And I'm happy to take any questions as we go through our session today. So, if you have any of those, just let me know and pop them in the chat windows so we can answer those live as we are here on Wednesday afternoon in the U.S. So happy to do that. So in my 14 years of doing this, I've run into people that have a lot of misconceptions as they approach getting started as a freelancer and how they can profit. Uh, and the misconceptions go like this. The first one is people assume it's as easy as signing up. They know that there's these worldwide networks, and it's easy as going out and signing up for a worldwide network to do some freelancing. Makes sense. We sign up for an Amazon account. We probably have an email account with Google or somebody else. We have an account with Walmart. We have an account to buy groceries. And so you just go in and sign up. And the problem is that's not true. What you're establishing when you sign up for something is you're establishing an account. And there is a difference between establishing an account and creating a presence in a system where you're going to be selling your services. As you can imagine, the person that's buying your services from you wants to see a little bit about you, your background, your skill set, your specialties, in some cases your education. And so unlike signing up for Amazon where you just put in your details and your physical address and you might put in a few preferences of when you want to receive mail, it's very important on these networks to create an effective profile. And it's called a profile because it's different than a resume. And kind of a variant of this misconception is people think, oh, I'll take my resume and I'll just cut and paste it into this system. And welcome, Luis. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you again. And thanks for the like. So the idea is you want to go out and create a profile that helps you sell yourself. And this is something that most of us are not particularly good at. We don't like the feeling in our stomach of when we have to sell ourselves to somebody else. And so what this profile does is it does the job, the same job that the resume used to do, but the buyer is different. When you gave somebody a resume, they were typically looking to hire you as an employee where you'd be working with them hopefully for years. And with freelancing, you're going to come in and do a very specific job, might take a few hours, it might take 10 hours, it might take a few months. So there's a whole different time span to that. And basically, if I could say one thing about the attitude of the freelance buyers, they want you to get to the point in terms of what you're capable of doing, and that's why doing this profile is so important. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is having a conference in St. Louis, a workshop on April 22nd, and we're going to be going through this. I'm going to put the link in the chat window here so everybody can see that might want to see it. And today is actually the early bird discount, so there's some pretty big savings if you want to go over there and catch that. I think those are displaying. It looks like they're in there properly. And so that kind of captures the first piece of this, the first misconception that I can just breeze in and kind of be sipping on a glass of wine while I'm typing these things in there. And this is something that you have to do a very good job on, because this will do the selling for you. And once you get a good profile set in the system, you typically will not be changing that. I mean, I know people that have been working for 5 years, 10 years on these networks, and they are still working with the same profile that we created for them very early on. Because if it does the job, there's no need to change it. But if you do want to change the kind of work you do, if you add some skills, which you do, when you've done freelancing for 5 years, you've got lots of new skills usually that you've acquired along the way. And so you can always add those to your profile, but it's a good thing to do. And good to see you, Marty. Thanks for dropping by. All righty. So the next misconception is people say, I'm special. My occupation is too specialized to go work on one of these networks. I remember one person said to me, hey, I'm a dentist. What could I possibly do online? And we had about a 20-minute conversation that we went through at an event. And he had a list of about 20 things he could do online, because once he got this concept, and this is the most important thing I can say about this one, is that we break your occupation into its component skills. And in his case, he had lots of knowledge about medicine and health and recovering from dental surgery and that kind of stuff. And usually he was sharing that in his office with his patients. But there are many opportunities to share that kind of information online. If you can write articles about those topics. If you can proofread and you understand medical terms, like a dentist certainly would, you can go ahead and add those to your list of skills that you can do. And you can read articles about dental stuff for accuracy. I remember we had one member that was actually doing proofreading. He, in addition to being a medical professional, he was very good at proofreading. Now, that's not usual, but in his case, that fit. So there was a website that talked about camping and outdoors sort of activities, and he helped them put together an article that covered the topics of what to do with the 10 most common dental injuries that are likely to occur when you're on a camping trip, and how to do that. So he was not having to put his fingers in somebody's mouth or anything like that. He was using his knowledge and sharing it with somebody miles and miles away. So this is the reorientation that most baby boomers have to think, that it's not your physical presence that is required to do this stuff. So that's very important to understand. And Good to see you, Edward. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the love emblem. Always appreciate those. So we do two things. We go in and we help people sort of break up their occupation into its component skill sets. And certainly one of those skill sets is, you know, doing things in the mouth in your own office, but you have lots of other skill sets that are operative there. The second thing we do is we talk about domains of knowledge. And it turned out in this particular case, the dentist knew lots of things about medicine, of course, and dental stuff and that kind of thing. But as I asked him, what other things does he do in his interest areas, his activity areas? And it turned out that he was very much an outdoors person. He had been a volunteer and active with local charities. He'd been active with his kids in the PTA, the Parent Teachers Association. And so he had lots of skills coming from lots of different areas that could be married up with these other skills to go in and find activities and work to do on these job and project networks. So the domains of knowledge are very important. We like to talk about that. And the skill set is very important. And one of the things in our training and in our programs that we found very successful with baby boomers and people 50 plus is to tap into skills they already have. It's a little crazy to go out and try and learn a whole bunch of new stuff, which people that are 20 years old and coming to freelancing frequently have to do in order to freelance. But what we're doing here is tapping into the decades of experience that you already have and pulling that into this environment. And so you really have an advantage if you're over 50 and have been working along the way, even if it's in several different industries, occupations, that kind of thing. But very important to tap into those skills that you already have. And that's really point number two, and that's how you profit from it. It's the ability to have a long list of skills you have, and usually after we talk to you for a little bit of time, or you go through one of our processes with us in our training activities, you'll see what all those are. And then the domains of knowledge are the other set of list of things that most people think of themselves as their occupation. And usually that's a one word description. I'm a dentist, I'm a pilot, I'm a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. And when we begin to talk about that, we find that you have many domains of knowledge. You have domains of knowledge within your career because maybe at the beginning of the career, you did an entry level type of work. And then as you moved up in your career, you did other levels of work, maybe in the same discipline. But each one of those represents a domain of knowledge and an opportunity for working in these online networks. And so the third category of things that people, it's good they get excited about freelancing, but they rush in and say, I want to make a lot of money right away. And this is, the wrong instinct. The first thing they don't realize is that they don't want to go in and have their first job be a $3,000 job because they don't know how to use the system. They're not familiar with how things flow. They're not familiar really with how to read what's going on with the client. And the other thing to know is that even though you can go into these systems and see lots of jobs that are $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, most buyers will not hire for those jobs until they see that you have a recommendation rating. And we've all seen these. These are, 5-star ratings. Every time you get out of an Uber, they ask you, how was your ride? Or every time you leave a restaurant, they give you a thing on the receipt that says, go tell us how we did, that kind of thing. And so the same thing is true on these networks. So what we recommend, and how you really profit from this, is that you go on to one of these systems and you do a half a dozen to a dozen jobs that are very short assignments, typically a half hour to 2 hours. And so you can get 6 to 12 of those jobs out of the way and get recommendation ratings on them very quickly. So that's what is happening with the way that this works. And so you and frankly, so many people don't understand this. So many new freelancers, so many baby boomers. Now, a lot of the younger generations understand that because they've been working on these systems. They comprise about 65 to 75% of the people working on these systems. But the other thing to know is that 25% of the people working on these systems tend to be baby boomers, and so lots of other people can do it. So you have a good chance of getting in there and being able to take a look at that. So that's something that you can do, and know that as you look at these networks, you can see lots of opportunity, but you shouldn't swing for the fences as you're immediately getting started in there, because that's sort of a certain way to kind of unravel as you're just getting started, because it's easy not to fully meet the expectations of a client with a $3,000 assignment. It's much easier to meet the expectations of somebody that has an hour and a half long assignment, could be proofreading something or that kind of thing. So those are the opportunities, the misconceptions. Every one of those represents an opportunity to do what most of the people on these networks aren't doing, and do what I know through my interviews of freelance buyers is what they're looking for. And that's what we're able to give you a lot of insight on, is what the freelance buyers are looking for, and help sort of alter those misconceptions and show you how you can be more competitive than your potential client would be. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and just want to remind those listening. I know I've talked to a number of people as we've done these Facebook series that are considering coming to St. Louis, and today is the final day to get the big early bird discount. And so I'll just pop those links there in the chat window, and you can either go directly to the order form if you've read the promotion and familiar what it's all about, and that's one activity there, and then one link. And then the second link is that if this is the first time you're hearing about this, you're not sure quite what it's all about, but it might be something that's interesting to you. So click on the second link and you'll be able to see the total description of what we're doing in St. Louis. And it involves an online webinar to help you get prepared for it. And then we're there for 2.5 days. And we did these prior to the lockdown for a number of years, and had a lot of fun with them. That's one of the great things about being in a room in a certain place together. There's lots of enthusiasm. Everybody's getting started as a freelancer, and we're teaching you things. You're accomplishing things. People are getting their questions answered, and you leave on Sunday night all set up with your profile ready to do freelancing. And so it's a real, uh, we're going to focus on this. I've talked to lots of people that as they prepare to retire, they say, yeah, I really would like to do this freelancing thing and have something I could do easily from wherever I live internationally or as I travel. And that's a good thing, but it does take some focused and concentrated effort, and that's what we're able to give to you especially in this St. Louis thing. And we only do this kind of live event, in-person event, once a year, and we bring in our coaches, and the coaches are roving around the different tables and helping make sure that everything gets entered in the system, and you leave on Sunday night with everything ready to go. So that's uh, coming up on April 22nd through the 24th. And uh, the best time to buy it would be today if you want to save that early bird, take advantage of that early bird special. So with that, I'm going to close this out. I thank you for stopping by, and look forward to seeing those of you that it makes sense for in St. Louis. So take care.